The Forest is a 2018 survival horror game that I have almost 120 hours in. It's kind of a buggy mess, but it's a charming buggy mess, and it's a go-to multiplayer game for me and my friends. Despite having spent so much time in the game, I barely understand the story. It's one of those where you learn the majority of it by finding items scattered around the map and putting things together yourself, which is unfortunately something that I am very bad at. Since I usually delve pretty heavily into the stories of the games that I cover on this channel, I figured making a video would be the perfect way to finally make sure I know the story of one of my favorite games. But that would be pretty boring to do alone, so I enlisted the help of my two closest friends, Kenny and Ginge, to make things just that little bit more interesting. I've known these dorks for over 5.5 years now, so I think I'm qualified to give them introductions without consulting them first. Kenny is a 7'13" half-orc cowboy prostitute with 17 kids, 3 wives, and a stockpile of illegally obtained antidepressants large enough to turn an emo into a unicorn. Ginge is not allowed within 50 meters of SeaWorld. We begin with a cutscene of the player characters, survivalist Eric LeBlanc and his son Timmy sitting in an airplane together. It's stormy outside and there is a lot of turbulence. The plane jerks forward, entering a downward spiral. Eric loses consciousness for a moment, waking in the middle of the aisle next to his son. A man covered head to toe in red paint lifts Timmy up, turning and walking away. Eric is too weak to stop this, passing out once again. This is where we gain control of our characters. Kenny and Ginge are playing as simple Good Samaritans who decide to help Eric get his son back, while I play as the depressed dad himself. Now it's time to do what any good survival expert would do in this situation. Skin the flight attendant. Now that we're looking dapper as can be, it's time to learn the basics of the story. So Eric—
I have a tennis ball now. I will name him something. He will be my friend. No! I dropped the tennis ball in the water! No! Tommy! Oh, and if I spam E, I can probably get him back to shore. Guys, help!
Okay, I guess we're gonna have to put that on hold for just a moment. Ginge just dropped his new tennis ball friend Tommy in the ocean next to a bunch of cannibals, and we need to get him back. You can't pick up throwable items while swimming, so this consisted of a solid minute of spamming the E key and walking backwards to try and get Tommy ashore. Oh, I think I found where Kenny was.
I know what I'm naming this guy. I'm naming this guy Dinner.
That's, I'm gonna go this way.
I feel like an essential part of my character is murder and cannibalism.
Hey, you know what? That's— I can respect that.
Not for YouTube or anything, I'm saying like in real life. I'm a cannibal. You guys both look really tasty.
Thank you?
Should I be scared or, like, happy?
You should be aroused.
That sounds like a compliment.
With Ginge's attachment to an inanimate object and Kenny's cannibalistic tendencies established, we head off to find a place to build a base. Unfortunately, the sun is quickly setting, and we haven't been able to find any suitable places to set up camp for the night.
We might have to spend one night naked around a fire to conserve body heat.
I'm comfortable with that.
There's no one I'd rather be naked with than you two.
Ginge, I'm scared.
At least he's gonna take our clothes off before eating us.
Before Kenny can cook and eat us, we find the perfect spot to settle down for the night and begin gathering some basic materials to make a shelter. We need some sticks, some logs, some rocks, and—
Have I told you the story of my first body?
in the bedroom or the courtroom?
Both.
What? Hey Ben, I'm gonna huddle with you. Does that sound good?
That's good, yeah. Kenny and I light a fire and begin constructing our log shelter while Ginge spends some quality time with Tommy.
I would just stand around, Jim.
I am telling Tommy bedtime stories.
I don't hear him say them out loud. Come on, share with the class.
Read to us.
I want to learn about Humpty Dumpty.
I want to learn about the other Humpty Dumpty.
The other Humpty Dumpty?
Tell Tommy about the birds and the bees.
Humpty Dumpty? This is already the most vulgar recording I've ever made. I want you to know that.
We have a special set of skills.
After a very traumatizing bedtime story, we get a relatively restful night of sleep. Early the next morning, we set off in search of a plot point to follow. Since you have to learn about the story by finding items around the map, what better place to start than the main cannibal camp? It's fairly deserted for right now, but there's plenty of stuff to steal so we can invoke the wrath of the locals. Off to the side, you can even find the entrance to a cave. The easiest way to spot it is by looking for the pile of skulls big enough to have come from the passengers of 2 to 3 average-sized school buses. We descend into the cave, making our way further and further until we find a massive rope leading down into a room full of supplies. Unfortunately, Ginge's potato of a laptop currently sounds like a jet engine, giving him 3 frames per second while he tries to navigate using a trackpad. Because of this, he can't get the prompt for descending the rope to appear.
Just jump down, we'll catch you.
Okay, you guys better catch me though.
I'll try.
Alright, you guys ready?
Arms are open and wide, come on.
Alright,
Hold on.
catch me.
Think of it like a long-distance hug. One sec, the hug's not done yet. There's an axe in the corner that's a substantial upgrade from the crappy one that we spawn with. There's also a ton of soda laying around next to it, which is kinda nice for some extra energy, but I'm more of a GamerSupps guy myself. Fortunately, today's sponsor happens to be GamerSupps, so we don't have to subject ourselves to guzzling down mysterious cave soda. I'm making this video during finals season, and GamerSupps has been helping me keep myself energized to get through some long study sessions. It's a delicious, no sugar, no nonsense source of energy with essential vitamins, 100 milligrams of caffeine per serving, and 0 calories. It's even keto friendly. Plus, they have caffeine-free versions if you want to be able to have it at nighttime. Better yet, give their sleepy time tea a shot. A mug of that stuff and a relaxing stream in the background will put me right to bed. Now, if I haven't convinced you, just listen to what Tommy has to say about it. What a visionary. Well, you heard him. Use code Ben again for 10% off your order. Oh. Hello? Okay. Turns out they do not have shipping to remote islands full of cannibals. As we find our way back to the cave entrance, we stumble upon an assortment of different clues as to what's going on. Who's the red man and where's Timmy? These items are the key to finding out. The most pertinent one is this newspaper. It has some writing on it scribbled in a mysterious red material.
Hey, wait. Tommy? 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 Buddy? Buddy, where are you? Tommy? This isn't funny. Tommy, where are you at? What? Oh, and Kenny's on fire. Save that for later, man. Can't you say...
We're trying to find Tommy.
He was my only friend. This godforsaken land. Now all I have left is you two bozos.
It seems that Tommy despawned. We lost a real one today. Rest in peace, King.
I'll make a shrine for Tommy.
In his loving memory.
What is that deer doing on the cliff? Do either of you see that?
Yeah?
Oh, he's in the cliff now. Yeah, guys, I think we need to make a church to the lag deer, where he is the most powerful being among us.
With that incredibly emotional moment diffused through the power of my sleep paralysis demon, it's now time to build ourselves a base. To avoid enemies, I set up the blueprint in water, since the enemies can't swim. Now all that's left to do is gather the wood needed to construct this thing, and that'll be a lot easier if we had some chainsaws. Thankfully, there's a cave right on the other side of the river that has just that. We gather our belongings and head right on in. A short way down the path, a piece of Timmy's favorite toy robot is sitting on the floor. That means Timmy has to have been here. If we keep searching for these pieces, we might be able to find out where he is. We all grab our chainsaws and make our way out of the cave before immediately heading to another cave to see if we can find ourselves the katana. There are even more clues on the cave wall in the form of some crayon drawings. If you analyze them closely, you can see—
Guys, it's glitching for me. The game is glitching. There are no more cave walls. I can see everything.
Okay. Somehow, Ginger's game has completely glitched on him and he can't see the walls at all. Unfortunately, he also can't see the climbing ropes, which is going to make things a lot more difficult to navigate. It's actually so bad that he can't even interact with the invisible ropes while directly colliding with them. We tried to fix it by making a temporary shelter for Ginger to sleep at, but we were one stick short. Fortunately, he can still see the single rope that we used to get inside.
Yeah, he can get out just fine.
Huh? Kenny, what is happening for you? Because for me, I am now climbing into the sky.
I want to see if you are really performing a miracle right now. Oh my god, he's just in the sky.
So I should describe that when I started climbing the rope, it's like it put me on top of the rope and then had me start climbing. So I think I'm going to go the entire rope length above the rope.
And he really is just up there, huh?
I'm telling you guys, it's because I wanted to build that church. They have granted me supernatural abilities.
Wait, oh my god! You can search heaven for Tommy!
Tommy! I'm coming, buddy!
Start climbing.
Tommy! Wait for me, buddy!
While Ginge is climbing, Kenny and I begin gathering logs to build a raft. We can then add log holders inside of it to carry them over to our base blueprint to make the process way faster.
Wait, Ginger's in the ground for me now.
Wait, what?
His name tag is in the ground for me.
Still says I'm in the sky.
Oh my god, you are in the Wait, that means you need to keep going. What if they just loop you?
I'm gonna drag myself up from the pits of hell, apparently.
Kenny and I continue to fill up the log holders while Ginger's pointer finger gets really tired. Holding down one button all day is quite the workout after all.
Okay, well, I'm redneck engineering, so I don't have to just hold down W.
You just put something on your keyboard.
Yeah, I'm literally using tape and that Tide Pod thing that I used as a measuring stick to just hold down the W button. All right, I sent my engineering to the chat.
Yeah, let me That beautiful creation only worked for so long until Ginge finally reached the top of the rope.
Guys, I'm falling from the sky.
Oh, you are? Oh my god. Did you just go through the ground for me?
I can walk in the sky now. Hold on, I'm gonna walk over to you guys.
Okay.
Okay, it just took fall damage right there.
Oh, I see you falling. Oh. Are you down?
And I lived.
You lived? You did not live. I run over to revive him after his tumble, gaining another set of hands to help build our raft. Also, we gotta put some logs in here, but we need to cut them very much in the opposite direction of the raft so we don't crush it.
Yeah, and you're just gonna hate me. You said cut your trees that way, and in the middle of the story, I was absentmindedly cutting trees and destroyed the boat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I deserved it.
About 35 seconds after my warning, Kenny cut directly towards the raft and destroyed all of our hard work. After another 15 minutes of work, the boat was fully rebuilt and we could begin to chop down trees to fill it up and get started on our base. 20 minutes later, our lovely base is finally starting to take shape. The building system in this game isn't great. You make blueprints, walk up to the blueprints with the materials, and hit E. 76 logs later, and we have some platforms to stand on. I create the blueprints for some walls, doors, and windows. We should only need about 50 or so more logs before the first floor is completed.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Kenny! Why?
We're boat.
Why?
Hey Kenny, where's the boat?
Not on purpose, I swear to God, I'm just absent-minded.
After Kenny rebuilt the boat all by himself, we set up the blueprints for the rest of the house and got to work gathering the last of our materials. Kenny and I figured that the only appropriate background music for this footage would be the house building theme from Red Dead Redemption 2. However, this is my job. This video needs to remain monetized. So, we used our countless years of musical prowess to make the best rendition of the house building theme of all time, practicing for 10 hours every single day for months on end, just to make sure that every single note was perfection. I'm sure that cover brought a tear to John Marston's eye. Probably one of pain, though. With our house complete and a massive bonfire placed right in the middle of it, we can finally sleep in almost an actual bed, kind of, sort of. But now, it's finally plot time. On the shore across from our water base, there's a massive creature with tons of arms flailing about. Using the power of my trusty bow and arrow, I make quick work of the monster and we steal its flesh for armor, like sane people. There's another mutation nearby, this time with many legs instead of many arms. Since it's 3 versus 1 this time, the creature goes down in seconds. We don't have much info on what these things are or where they came from yet, but what we do know is that there's a yacht nearby that may hold those answers. Unfortunately, we have to swim to it, and I'm afraid of water in video games. Fortunately, I can keep my head above the water, for now. The yacht has some air canisters and a photo of one of the mutants. Further along the shore is the entrance to a cave with even more clues inside. There's a videotape labeled Megan's Arrival on the ground, but we have nothing to play it with yet. Further in, we stumble across a cavern with a floor almost entirely covered in dead bodies. The creator of the pile appears to be standing in the center, another mutant. A few Molotovs and haphazardly placed axe swings later, and we're free to explore the room. Within the pile, there's a keycard covered in blood as well as a video camera. For now, the most important thing is to give that videotape a watch. Let's find ourselves a quiet corner so we can hear everything clearly and... Well, we can't just find a secret passageway and not explore it. Down the tunnel, there's a climbing axe in the wall. As the name suggests, we can use it to climb up rock faces. That doesn't explain how we can do it with one hand, but hey, I'm not complaining. This opens up a new method of traversal that we use to climb up the wall to escape with our new tool. But it's not the last tool that we need. For that, we'll need to find the other half of the plane crash. There are really only two spots where it could be on the map. One is up north in the mountains where everything is covered in snow, and the other is deep within the sinkhole. What's the sinkhole? It's this massive hole in the ground. It seems a lot easier to go up north and explore the snowy tundra first. Ow, I'm dead.
Alright, who's the closest to him? Wake up, Samurai. We got a city to burn. Cannibals to escape from. Alright.
Oh, crap.
Soul for a soul.
Oh, God, they're coming for me still.
Ow.
Ow! Okay, I'm dead. It seems we didn't have nearly enough armor, meaning it's time to kill some mutants and steal their skin. Alternatively, Ginge could leave and rejoin the game, putting all the armor in his inventory onto the armor stand before leaving and rejoining over and over again so we can duplicate it. But we would never do something so immoral. On our second attempt, we managed to quickly find the front of the plane, retrieving a flare gun with plenty of ammunition. There was even a massive clue sitting in the plane. Look at this magazine cover. No interruptions? No interruption! Okay, so both Timmy and Eric are on the front cover, and it reveals that Eric is actually a survivalist television personality, and that his wife is dead. Whew. There's another cave nearby that we begin to explore with the hopes of finding the rebreather, which is the last item that we need to beat the game. There's a crayon drawing of the sinkhole on the floor, indicating exactly where we need to go once we find it. There's a large pool of water at the end of the cavern right next to the rebreather itself. Remember when I said I was afraid of water? We were expected to dive here to exit the cave. I left Kenny and Ginge to dive their way out while I went the long way, climbing all the way back up. Unfortunately for me, they stumbled upon a mysterious door after resurfacing that sounded important. With Ginge returning to escort me through the nightmare that is diving in a cave, we finally all make it to the door and open it up. There's drawings of mutants, but not really anything else. Unfortunately, there's another body of water. Oh, that's so much worse!
Just look at my then.
Yeah, look at Ginger's ass.
Okay.
Breathe in and just say, I'm a brave boy.
I'm a brave boy. At the end lays a rope that when climbed leads to even more water. This time, it leads directly into open water. Thankfully, it's fresh water, so I'm safe, but man, was that an unpleasant swim. All that's left for us to do is to get into the sinkhole so we can enter the end game. Normally one does this by finding a cave that leads down to the bottom, but that is the coward's way down. We are going to set up a zipline across the entire length of the sinkhole so that we can drop down directly in the center where a pool of water will break our fall because video game physics. Alright. Come on! Aim for the center, aim for the center! Oh, I might have missed. Oh, barely.
Nicely done.
Hey, buddy! There are tons of cannibals and mutants at the bottom of the sinkhole. After taking many of them out, it's time to investigate this helicopter crash site where we find some very dapper suits. I think we were a little bit out of it at this point.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of this asshole?
What the hell did you just ask?
That's not what I...
That's not what you meant? What did you mean? What did you mean by that?
I think disarmed me, and it's taking forever. And I was like, oh, how many likes does it take? Your parents watch these videos if that's going in.
Yeah, they do.
You have to put that in now, because that was an accident.
I have to put that in! Now that Kenny has ensured that this video will make no money, we decide to dive into the water in the center of the sinkhole to see where it takes us. There's a tunnel in the bottom that leads to a winding pathway with an oddly modern-looking door at the end. Behind it is a well-lit orange hallway. We climb into the ceiling, crawling through the air vents until emerging in an office space dining hall. There are tons of clues scattered around, like living spaces and vents, some photos of people I'm not familiar with, more drawings, and a pack of crayons with the name Megan
How can we get the funniest picture of, like, Ginge and I next to the big wall of flesh?
Alright guys, family photo, come on! Stand next to it! Alright, and beautiful. Alright, run. We stumble into a room full of almost alien machinery, opening a chamber in the middle. Really? Really?
It's dramatic lighting then.
Okay.
I didn't think that was actually gonna light it up that much.
Timmy is dead, but Eric LeBlanc isn't one to give up easily. He tries hooking his son back up to the machine. It's clearly used to bring people back to life, but the machine puts up an error. A live subject is needed. I think it's safe to assume that the pod Timmy was in was where that subject needs to be placed. But who was he used to bring back? Alright, I gotta head in first.
Alright, let's just wait until Ben starts screaming for help, Ginge.
Alright, we'll watch him from a distance. He's got this.
Yeah, we can just watch from these doors.
Thanks, guys. Alright, I'm in the cutscene. You guys are open to come in, or not.
Nah, we'll wait. We'll wait for it.
It's like watching a movie.
Oh my gosh, guys. This little girl has a plane, which obviously means that this was all set up by William Afton. I think there may be some adverse effects to this whole bringing someone back to life thing. Since Kenny and Ginge decided to sit this one out, I'm left to defeat the boss all by myself. That little girl, Megan, clearly thought that was unfair and made a beeline for them after I ran out of flares. What a nice young lady. Unfortunately, she's still a murderous mutant and Eric needs to bring his son back, so...
Let's go! We killed a child.
Well, she's kinda dead now, and we don't have a live subject anymore, so we don't really have a choice but to leave for the time being. Megan did have a keycard on her, though, that allows us to move further into the complex, so we do. After a very long trek, we come across an elevator. I'm covered in blood still, so's Kenny. You're not red enough, Ginge.
Wait, do I not have blood on me? Ow.
No, you're not covered in red paint.
Ow.
Oh, that's what you meant? What?
What?
Kenny.
Kenny, did you just... To explain what just happened, we need to understand how elevators work in the forest. Instead of making a physical box move with all the players inside of it, the game just teleports all living players to an identical elevator interior in a different location. As I activated the elevator, Kenny murdered Ginge so that he would be covered in blood and look red just like Kenny and I, who were covered in red paint. Because Ginge was dead, he was not teleported to the new elevator alongside us. With only two of us left, Kenny and I move forward into the futuristic room. We have two options: an emergency shutdown and some kind of screen with a nearby plane on it. What?! We need 3 people to confirm! Kenny?
No, Ben. No. Bad. Bad, Ben.
That's it! No more interruptions, no more stupid mistakes. I can finally talk about the story without interruption. Hello, it's Editing Ben. I know this was a very different video from what I normally make, but I think it's important to experiment sometimes and have a little bit of fun. The next 2 videos I'm putting out are going to be more normal, with some highly requested continuations of 2 series that I've been making. If you actually want to know about the story of the forest, feel free to check out the long play in the description where we actually show all of the cutscenes and evidence that we found. I hope to see you all again. Have a great rest of your day.